Chapter 41. Claws in the Gloom. The fringes of Shadowmere Wood loomed like a blackened scar on the Bloodwild's edge, its twisted trees clawing at the bruised sky, fog clinging to the ground like a shroud. Veer trudged through the undergrowth, his patched leathers creaking, twin short swords sheathed but ready, his scarred face set in a grim scowl. The gold from Yans's mercy weighed heavy in his purse, a bitter reminder of his betrayal, but guilt gnawed deeper. The kid, Dylan, sold out like a cheap blade, his starry scars a curse Veer had dumped on kings and gods. Zariel moved beside him, a ghost in moss-green cloak, luminous green eyes scanning the fog-veiled paths, bow knocked with an obsidian-tipped arrow. Their search for Dylan had led them here, whispers from Wood Elf scouts pointing north through this cursed stretch where spectral lights lured travelers to doom and whispers eroded sanity. The air was thick, cold despite the jungle's heat, carrying a metallic tang mixed with decay. Veer's limp dragged his boot through the fog-choked mire, each step stirring faint echoes, whispers, almost words, slithering into his mind. Traitor, coward, the wood's curse gnawing at regrets. Zariel's silver hair caught the dim light, his elf senses picking up the unnatural quiet. No birds, no beasts, just the low thrum of something watching. Something's off, Zariel murmured, his voice steady but edged with wariness. The fog thickens ahead, tracks fade too quick, Dylan's, or whatever chased him. Veer grunted, wiping sweat from his brow. Wood's playing tricks. Keep moving. The boy's tough. If he's alive, he's north. His grey eyes flicked to the shadows, guilt twisting his gut. Dylan's wide-eyed trust, hardened by lessons Veer had given, betrayed for a purse. Lou's principles mocked him, share the burden but he'd shouldered none, dumping it all on the kid. A rustle cut the quiet, not wind but deliberate, like cloaks brushing bark. Figures emerged from the fog, 5 at first, then more, 10 cultists in tattered robes, stained with ash and blood, their faces hidden under hoods, etched with Vaughn's void runes. They carried curved daggers and bone talismans that hummed faintly, eyes glowing with fanatic zeal. "The betrayer walks," one hissed, voice gravelly stepping forward. "Vaughn claims your soul, Nightvale scum." Veer's sword slid free with a metallic rasp, his stance coiling despite the limp. "Come take it, godlickers." Zariel's arrow flew, punching through a cultist's throat, black blood spraying as the body dropped. The cultists didn't falter. They chanted, a low, guttural hymn in a tongue like grinding roots, their bodies convulsing, robes tearing as flesh warped. The transformation was horrific, a symphony of agony and ecstasy, skin bubbling, bones cracking with wet pops, muscles swelling into ropey masses under fur that erupted like black thorns. One cultist's face elongated, jaw unhinging with a snap, teeth lengthening into jagged fangs that dripped viscous saliva, eyes turning lupine yellow, pupils slitting as madness gleamed. His arms stretched, fingers fusing into claws that scraped stone, spine arching with a series of cracks, fur ripping through skin in bloody patches. Another's chest expanded, ribs visible under splitting flesh, howling as his legs bent backward, knees reversing with a grotesque crunch, paws forming from mangled feet. The air filled with the stench of wet fur and ruptured meat, their bodies twisting into werewolf-like beasts, hulking 7 feet of matted black fur, muzzles foaming, claws like sickles, eyes burning with Vaughn's hunger. The change was raw, visceral, bones grinding, flesh tearing, blood slicking the ground as they shed humanity for monstrous power. Veer charged the nearest, his blades a whirlwind, slicing into furred hide, black ichor spraying, but the beast roared, claws raking his arm, tearing leather and flesh in a hot gash. Zariel loosed arrows, 2 embedding in a beast's chest, but it lunged, fur singed but unyielding, its jaws snapping inches from his throat. Ver parried a swipe, his sword biting deep into a paw, severing claws, but another beast slammed into him, pinning him to the ground, fangs dripping onto his face. He jammed a blade into its maw, twisting, the creature howling as blood poured, but its weight crushed his ribs, pain exploding white-hot. Zariel dodged a claw swipe, his arrow piercing an eye, the beast thrashing blindly, but 3 more closed in, their transformations complete, furred hulks snarling with divine rage. One raked his side, claws shredding cloak and skin, and blood welling hot. He staggered, bow dropping, drawing a dagger, but the beasts circled, toying, their eyes gleaming with Vaughn's malice. Ver shoved his attacker off, rolling free, but his limp buckled, a beast's paw smashing his knee, bone grinding. They were losing, outnumbered, the cultists' werewolf forms too fast, too resilient, Vaughn's curse knitting wounds mid-fight. A shadow blurred from the trees, Lioré Durell, Erin's dagger, emerging like a storm. Her raven hair whipped, violet eyes cold as she struck, a poisoned knife flashing into a beast's neck, the toxin foaming black as it convulsed, fur melting. She spun, her subtle armor whispering, elbow cracking another's jaw with a crunch, then drove a heel into its knee, bones snapping. The beasts turned, roaring, but Lioré was a whirlwind. Hands, knives, pressure points. Her body a weapon of lethal grace. She dodged a claw, twisting to jab a vial of acid sap into a maw, the beast's face dissolving in screams. Ver rose, blades flashing, joining her, his raw power complementing her precision, a sword thrust gutting a beast, as Lioré's knife severed its spine. Zariel snatched his bow, arrow piercing a throat, the beast gurgling as Lioré finished it with a slash. The last 2 lunged, claws raking air, but Lioré vaulted over one, her dagger plunging into its back, toxin racing through veins, while Ver's blades crossed the other's neck, head tumbling. The glade fell silent, beasts crumbling to twisted corpses, their transformations reversing in death, fur receding to pale skin. Ver panted, blood dripping, eyeing Lioré warily. "Who the fuck are you?" She sheathed her knife, her smile faint, predatory. "Lioré Durell, blade of Princess Erin. She sends me for the star vessel. Dylan." His scars called to the shrine, and Erin would see him free of her father's chains. Zariel's eyes narrowed, but Ver grunted, sheathing his swords. "Erin's playing a dangerous game. The Kids North Stormspire. Join us." Lioré's violet eyes gleamed. "I choose to join. The Web Titans, Vorin's agents hunt him too. Together, we cut through." The group moved on, wounds bound, the Wood's curse whispering defeat. But their alliance forged in blood, the Stormspire's peaks calling through the fog.